When I look at images like this, my heart breaks in a way that words can barely describe. This is not just a photograph from the past. It is evidence of how our ancestors were treated, beaten, chained, and deliberately broken. They were not punished to correct them. They were tortured to destroy their will. The violence was so severe that many could barely walk, let alone think of escaping. The suffering was intentional, calculated, and cruel. These people were human beings. They had names, families, dreams, and dignity. Yet they were reduced to property. Their bodies were turned into tools of labor, and pain was used as a method of control. The goal was simple: make them suffer so deeply that resistance felt impossible. This is a truth that should never be denied or forgotten. What makes this history even more painful is that the same people and systems responsible for these crimes later arrived preaching religion. They brought a Bible that had already been used to justify slavery. Scriptures were selectively taught and twisted to convince our ancestors that their suffering was God's will, that obedience was holy, and that resistance was sinful. Religion became a weapon used to silence the oppressed and protect the oppressor. Today, that same religion continues to divide us. People who share the same history, the same blood, and the same pain now fight and kill each other in its name. The belief systems that were once used to erase our ancestors are still being used to keep us distracted from the real sources of our suffering. Slavery did not end our pain, it only changed its form. After slavery came colonialism. Our lands were taken, our resources were exploited, and our systems of governance were destroyed. And when colonial rule became too obvious and unpopular, it evolved again. Today we live under neocolonialism and imperialism, systems that operate through debt, foreign influence, economic control, and political puppets placed in power. A puppet leader is often more dangerous than a foreign ruler because the oppression now comes from within. The chains are no longer visible, but they are still tight. The same forces that once used whips now use policies, loans, and institutions to maintain control. Africa is a deeply religious continent, perhaps the most religious in the world. We pray, we fast, we worship, and we believe. Yet we are also among the most exploited and suffering people on earth. This contradiction forces an uncomfortable question: where is God in all of this suffering? Why does a continent that worships so deeply continue to bleed? Do not let anyone lie to you or rewrite history. Religion was used to enslave Africans. The Bible was used. The Quran was used. They were used to justify violence, to normalize suffering, and to make our ancestors accept their pain as destiny. They were beaten, humiliated, and dehumanized while being told it was righteous. Forgetting this history is dangerous. History tells us that the same people who describe us as poor or backward are often the same ones chasing our resources and benefiting from our continued suffering. If we forget where the pain began and how it was maintained, we allow it to continue in new forms. Africa has suffered deeply, and that suffering did not happen by accident. It was engineered. Remembering this truth is not about hatred, it is about awareness. And awareness is the first step towards freedom.